Yo, what is going on, guys? Average Player here with another deck profile to keep you updated on things going on in my life, because I know I've only uploaded. I wanted to try a Phantom Knight Synchro build, and since I don't have the Punk engine, I decided to go with Virtual Worlds. So, and a couple other extra cards, which I kind of thought was kind of spicy, and it's actually pretty decent. Playing against friends today, it did pretty well. Who knew ending with, doing the same thing Virtual Worlds do, but with Phantom Knights? Having the access to the fog blades is just so much better than being able to just to set up the crystal wing or whatever. So yeah, but to tell you about my personal life, obviously, besides building this deck and trying to make videos and stuff like that, my computer finally fully died. Windows supposedly had an update that completely fried my hard drives. Like my SSDs, they were frozen, they wouldn't format, nothing, not even through BIOS, and I couldn't enter Windows. So that was absolutely fun, and I have to get new parts, and we're hoping that the damage was only limited to my hard drives and it didn't hit my motherboard or anything like that. So yeah, but I know it's trying to sound, making it sound like it's an infection, but it's not. But I do have two proxied cards. They are face down. One's face down, one's just a card sleeve. I will get to those here in a little bit. They are Synchro monsters. I just don't have them yet. So to first start it off, we're going to do the Phantom Knight engine. 3 Torn Skills. Pardon that. 3 Boot. 2 Cloak. 1 Greaves, 1 Gloves. That's for the regular Phantom Knight engine. Of the monsters, anyway. If you really want to, if you're hell-bent on playing hand traps or whatever, I would toss a boot and a glove, and or a boot and a cloak, and then I'd probably toss out Stain Greaves, because you don't really need that, because you don't want your monsters increasing levels at all. So I'd probably toss those out, and probably play like 3 Ash or whatever, which you do have the ability to. Other cards later in the deck, you could take out 2 in place to play your hand traps if you want, but I'll get to those when I get to them. And next is for our extenders, the warrior ones, obviously. 2 Kagemuchi Knight, 1 Junk Forward, and here's the extra spice that I play. Kind of help it start off its synchro plays. You can start doing this so you're not limited to your virtual world plays. Your virtual world cards are basically used to, if you get stopped with this, you can use your virtual world cards to do what you wanted to do anyway. But 2 Crusadia Borea, so that's my spice. It's a level 3 water warrior tuner. If you open a virtual world speller trap, or if you open up the King Long, virtual King Long, like a Lulu, and then you open up Rhoda and Torn Scales, you got it at that point. Because you can normal summon Torn Scales, use the effect, send the cloak, send another card to the graveyard, whatever you don't want to be, or another Phantom Knight card, whatever you want it to be. Banish the cloak, special summon boots, make Chair Beanie. Chair Beanie can send Nyan for whenever you want. Obviously, you're already using the Rhoda to add Aboria. Aboria to summon itself to zone link monster points to, and then say you wanted to use boots, or say you sent like wings or something like that, you can banish that, go do your plays, and now you're making a Stardust Charge Warrior off of this to draw your card. And easily, you can make, if you open up your Virtual World combo first, if you wanted to do that first, which would just lock you into your ranks and your XCs and your levels of 3 and 6 and higher, you could do that. You just want to have access to this package. Even though everything's level 3, you wouldn't be able to link summon, so Borea is kind of dead. Other than it'd be a normal summon of a tuner, but that's about it. It would just be dead. That's why I played it 2. And Kagemuchi Knight would be another card. You can cut it down to 1 to make room for some hand traps. Next is for the cards we play for the Phantom Knights. So obviously you play the 1 Rhoda, as I stated earlier. 3 Fogblade, Shade Brigandine, and Wing. There's not really any reasoning behind the Shade Brigandine. That'd be another card you can take out, as I'm still working on fully testing this. But right now this is based off of what I've done, what I've played with, and from my experiences just from today. Excuse me, adjusting the camera. Okay, better. playing with today. Obviously, the Fog Blade's better. Shade Brigandine doesn't really come up. And Wings, it comes up to special summon a monster from the graveyard. Shade Brigandine's only good in like the cases that you just want to be able to protect yourself, but this right now is just a placeholder for another Chuche, because I actually don't have one. But when I get the rest of the cards to the deck, like Stardust Charge Warrior, the Coral Dragon, which are the proxied cards, I will make the deck list again, because some cards will definitely be taken out, like Wing and Shade. Those cards would be gone. Other one Kagenuchi Knight would be gone, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we can fit in the rest of the Virtual World engine. Even though the engine the way it is now is actually amazing, and it worked really well even for being small. But speaking of the Virtual World engine, we're gonna start off with now. Obviously, whenever you're playing Virtual Worlds, any form of engine or anything, you play 3 Lulu, 2 Nyan. This is one of the cards I want to bring to 3, but I actually feel like it's perfect at 2 in this engine. I'll explain more in a second, and then 2 Lao. To explain what I mean, Lulu's the best card here. You want Nyan at 2, 2 Lao. Maybe even bring Lao down to 1, because you don't really need it. And then if you take out a Lao, you can play Lily, and then you're probably going to play 2 GG, or 1 GG. But I will, again, play test what needs to happen, and like the ratios and stuff like that. So when I get back to it after this deck gets finished fully into its best potential, you guys will know about it. Probably in the next deck profile. But this is the best card. You're generally using this. You're sending Nyan, adding Lao. Or using this to send like Chuche or King Long to your graveyard. And you're adding Lao. Because Nyan's not really useful. And say like, you already did that whole combo I told you about with the Phantom Knights and Crusadia Borea. So you can use Lao with Stardust Charge. Make your Ultimize Zulkin so you can get your Monster Negate on board. Obviously, that's like the 6th summon, but if your opponent messes up at that point, then yeah, they just gotta let it happen at that point. They can't activate Nib or anything, but you don't really see Nib much, so your summons summons don't really matter unless your opponent is siding in for Nib, which, the build I'm going to be putting in or making is going to have hand traps when it's done. I'll find a way to fit them in. So when it comes down to it, we can fit in cards like Crossout Designator coming in from the side deck and stuff like that. Another card I don't have 3 of, but you probably want 3 in this deck is 2 King Long. Even then, I probably think 2 is good, because you can just recycle it back anyway with Chuche. Or Nyan, if you can loop Nyan like you're supposed to. I'm counting this as a Virtual World card. 3 Emergency Teleport. That gets you your Lulu or gets you Nyan straight to the field. It's perfect. It's an amazing starter. It's an amazing extender for this deck. So say like you get ashed or something like that off of Lulu or Lao or something like that. You can just get whatever you want anyway. 1 Chuche. I want to make this 2 because you want to have 1 on the field, but you also want to have 1 in the graveyard that can be banished, because you can recycle it anyway. Because you want to be able to recycle using Chuche, like recycle a banished Chuche or recycle a banished, whatever you have for Virtual Worlds, and keep on being able to play. Basically, full send your gas. That's basically it. You're basically trying to full send. If your board gets broken, then you can recycle everything and play, because you have to target 1 card and send another type from your deck to the graveyard. So say like you target the trap, like usually you target the trap. Targeting is cost, and then you send the spell. You have to have a spell to send, or you can send a monster to send. Or if you target the spell and you don't have a trap to send or a monster to send, you can't really summon anything. So the more you have, the better. But for another trap, we play Zhan Wu. Zhan Wu's good for the fact that it can change the battle position of a monster, so it can help you from battle protection or whatever. So your opponent has a card that can beat over your Crystal Wing, because that's a rank or a big link. Or not a big link, like a big rank. Because Crystal Wing doesn't do anything against rank monsters, or they have just a monster that can beat over, your Shen, trying to get over the banishment. Zhan Wu's good for that reason, but it's generally only at 1 copy, because you can send it to the graveyard and banish it to summon a Virtual World as a free extender. It's amazing. Next is for the spell cards. Obviously, I don't have one in here, and it's going to be in the final form of the deck after this profile goes up, so you guys can try it out. But I'm going to tell you it's going to be in here. So here's 2 Pot of Desires because you only have it at 2. You can Upstart Goblin. You take that out for Called by the Grave and Foolish Burial Goods. And honestly, you could take these out for starting your hand traps. But in my opinion, with this deck, even though Pot of Desires is good because it does actually trigger Nyan when it gets banished off of Pot of Desires. Small World is way better, especially if you have a hand trap to go with. Like you can like you open 2 Ash. You can in a Small World, you activate Small World, banish your Ash from hand, target like a Torn Scales or something like that in your deck, banish that, and then add your Lulu or whatever, or vice versa. Like you got Lulu, or like vice versa, you got Nyan. You target Lulu in your deck. No, you can't target Lulu, so you target Crusadia Avarmax or something like, or whatever. You can target something else. Like, say you got Nyan, you can target Ash. There we go. You can target Ash and then add your Torn Scales. Whatever piece that you need, Small World can help you with. That's why I would say take Pot of Desires out and you can play Small Worlds instead, because it is better. Sorry for the rambling. I tried to stop that. I already told you guys I was trying to. Alright, now for the extra deck. We play 1 Link Monster because... Alright, sorry about the stop. I have... My phone camera likes to overheat. For whatever reason, it overheats, so we gotta make this fast because I was able to get it cooled down and we can just edit in on my phone. So, we play 1 Link Monster as I was trying to get to before my phone decided to go completely with Cherubini. Obviously, you make this to get whatever Virtual World card, mostly Nyan to your graveyard. That's why we only play a few copies of it, because we want to use it for our fodder. Next is Synchro Monsters, 1 Ultimaya Zulkin, 1 Stardust Charge Warrior, which is proxied. Hold on, let me flip the card around. One Coral Dragon, 1 Crystal Wing, and Shen. Basically your typical Virtual World line, and that's it. Don't really explain it. Next is a whole bunch of Xyz monsters. So we're trying to keep it as true to Phantom Knights as we can while also having access to the Virtual World stuff. So 2 Breaksword, 1 Fortune Tune, 1 Leviair, 1 Raider's Knight, 1 Ark Rebellion, 1 F-Zero, 1 F-Zero Utopic Future, 1 F-Zero Utopic Draco Future, and Zeus. So cards like Breaksword, Fortune Tune, and Leviair, they're all played in Virtual Worlds, and so is Zeus. The Raider's Knight, Ark Rebellion, Utopic Future, and Draco Future you don't play, because obviously you can't make these when you're under the lock of the level 3 and rank 3 and stuff like that. So, because these count as rank 1. So, if you really are indeed in a little pickle, if you can make Breaksword, blow it up, make Raider's Knight, Ark Rebellion, you basically got game there. So, that's it. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Please leave a like if you think I should change anything. Obviously, with me telling you guys what I'm planning on changing is what I'm going to plan on changing. Not only that, comment, subscribe. Everything helps. I always like talking to you guys and getting your guys' input. So anyway, have a good day. See ya.